Welcome back, G's. Welcome back, ladies. This is Ours with another audio commentary for WCReplays.com. Go ahead and get the replay loaded and paused at the 1 minute mark at the 1x speed. With Fog of War unchecked, we're going to watch from Hala's replay vision. While you're doing that, I want to thank everybody for all the great feedback that I got on the last commentary. You guys are great, man. Even the haters, you know, I need to know because I want to win you guys over. So tell me, even if you don't like what I'm doing, let me know, and we'll see if I can change that. Alright? Very good. I also want to give a shout out to Mr. Cygnus, man. I'm a big fan, and it's so cool that he decided to stop by and drop a comment. It's really awesome, man. Hope to see you around more in the future. And you guys are in for a treat. You know, I saw that a lot of you wanted to see more Bloodmage, more human, so that's what you're going to get. You get more Bloodmage, more human. And, okay, yeah, it's another human versus human. No, I don't have a problem. It's just that this replay is so awesome. You know, we'll get to the other races in other commentaries. Right now, it's human. All the time. So quit whining. Quit whining. There's no crying in baseball! Give me a break, and if you're not where you need to be, get to the 1 minute mark. For the rest of us, we're going to unpause in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Unfreaking pause. Right. This is actually a Smurf account of mine on the East Ladder right now, and I've been working with a strat for a good week and a half, and it's evolving into a pretty decent strat. It's Bloodmage first, with Banish and Siphon Mana, and then some Tavern Heroes after that. So how about that, huh? My opponent goes Mountain King first, so there's no Archmage in this game. Okay, Archmage is for bitches, and I'm not a bitch. Okay, and neither is the other guy. This is a great game. You're not gonna believe this game. You're not gonna believe it. You guys are gonna leave comments all about this shit. You're gonna be so blown away. It's really cool. Anyway, we're gonna talk about Banish. We're gonna talk about knowing when to expand. And I know the other audio commentators already cover that, you know, pretty thoroughly. But we're gonna talk about it some more because it's very important. And I'll tell you when I feel the need to expand or the criteria I use. You know what I mean? Sure you do. So, I know where my opponent is, so I want to go and harass. You see, this is pretty normal for right now. This has got barracks, 2 farms, an altar, and so I just want to get as many foots as I can. You know, early game, not too many, but a good amount. And I'm going to go and try to catch my opponent. I'm too late for the creep jack, but this is one of the things we're going to talk about, is using Banish and a creep jack. What you want to do is when you go in, you find your opponent creeping, and you see him about to kill a nice level creep. You can banish that creep so you can't deal normal damage to it, and that's going to force your opponent to do one of two things. He'll either A, ignore the creep, and then you might be able to get the kill once Banish wears off, or B, he's going to use a hero spell on it because that'll be the only way he could damage it early game, and that'll be one less Stormbolt or one less Death Coil they can use on you if they're going to use it to finish off the creep. So either way they decide to go, you're going to make things harder for them, which is always good. So you can see I'm messing around with Banish here. I'm trying to either get a Banish surround, you know, slow a unit down enough so I can surround it, or I'm also banishing my own hero so he doesn't take too much damage. And I'm making sure to keep an eye on the Mountain King's mana so he can't Stormbolt me while I'm banished, because, as you know, banished units are more vulnerable to spell damage. So you wouldn't want to, say, banish a hero of yours when he's in the red to, say, prevent damage to him and then have him get Stormbolted because he'll die. You know, and so you don't want to do that. So you always want to keep an eye. You'll notice later when I get some other heroes, I'll banish them immediately after they get bolted so they can't be surrounded and hit or finished off by focus fire, things like that. You can also banish ensnared units if you're fighting Orc. This strategy works well against Night Elf, Orc, and Human. I haven't used it against Undead yet. But say a lot of Orc players now go Raiders, or at least some Raiders, and they go ensnare so they can ensnare stuff so you can't really run it away. You can banish units so they get ensnared so they can't deal damage to them. The ensnare wears off and you just run the unit away. It's pretty cool. And we're going to cover getting out of a surround using Banish in a few minutes. Right now I'm using Banish to creep. These null camps become extremely easy when you use Banish. It's kind of like using Sleep. And, you know, lots of Undead players it's a pretty viable strategy to go Dreadlord first with Sleep, and lots of undead players do that. So why don't more human players go Bloodmage first with, say, Banish as the first skill, or why don't more human players go Bloodmage first with Siphon Mana as the first skill? Because that's like getting a Demon Hunter with Mana Burn, except it's obviously he doesn't attack as fast or as well as a Demon Hunter. You get the trade-off there, and Siphon Mana doesn't burn the mana away quite as fast as as Mana Burn does. It's instant with Mana Burn, whereas Siphon Mana you got to wait there, and it's kind of like a channeling spell. It draws the mana out, but it can be just as effective if you get good positioning and you got enough of an army. You can't really use it too much for harassing, but you can definitely use it, in the heat of a battle, and it's a pretty intimidating skill. People see the blue chain come out and sucking mana out of their hero, they want to run that hero out of the way. You see there, the only thing that saved my base, pretty much the only thing that saved this game for right now and bought me some time, was my opponent had real bad positioning on his hero, and I was able to force a teleport, because there's no way I don't think I could have fought off his army without taking super huge losses to my peasants and to my army. There's no way I could have built that back up, because I'm teching and I couldn't replace the peasants, and therefore I couldn't get the resources to replace my army. So he would have come out way ahead if I hadn't been able to force the TP. So that's a bad move on his part, luck on my part, and now it's going to buy me some time. I'm going to be able to go off and get some creeping done to get to level 2. And it's very important in the strategy to get to tier 2 fast so you can get another hero, because right now I've got a pretty decent creeping force, but I'm not going to be able to deal lots of damage to, say, an opponent. So what I need is to get that second hero, and so that'll help my damage output. You guys will see my second hero pretty soon when I go pick that up at the tavern, and that's going to help my damage output. And so right now there's just some creeping going on. I think I covered everything I wanted to with Banish, except for getting out of Surround with Banish, which you're going to see here in just a moment. Of course, like I said, this all goes into making sure you don't banish your hero while it can still be bolted or coiled or whatever, because you may make things harder for yourself if you do that. However, once you get surrounded, say if you get bolted, you can immediately banish your unit, and then bolt still has to cool down, right? And your unit can still be surrounded. However, the units will instinctively want to not attack that unit or hero because they can't deal damage to it. So it's going to be really hard for your opponent to get a surround on a unit that is banished, because the units instinctively want to run off and attack other units. And so you'll see my Bloodmage will get surrounded, and he'll get out of it simply because I banish him, and the other units kind of get confused, and my opponent can't micro them in time to keep them to get them to hold their position, and so they just kind of run away. Or if you banish a hero, your opponent may try to get like a better position while you're banished, because he knows he can't hit you, so he'll try to get a better position, and he may break up his own surround without you having to do anything. He may like try to get a better position, and all of a sudden like a 2-foot's run the wrong way, and then all of a sudden he can't you can't move him back in time, and then you're out of it. You're okay. So I teleported out. I was in a really bad spot. Had no front line. He was just all mixed in with my shit, and so I teleported out, but I thought I still had some kind of advantage. And of course now I have my second hero, the Goblin Alchemist. Go Acid Bomb first, and that's going to help my damage output. And BL, my opponent, is really good about just like, he made me think I could chase down a unit and be okay, and then like get some kind of kill out of it, and he just turns right back around and bolts my hero. Here's where I get out of the surround. See, he just can't. He's either trying to get a better position, he doesn't want to just wait there and do nothing, so he moves a little bit and probably didn't want to break up the surround, but he had enough mana for a bolt, and the cooldown was just about done, so he's able to kill my Bloodmage anyway. But he did get out of a surround, and he wasn't able to be finished off with Focus Fire. Of course, now my Alchemist gets finished with Focus Fire, and I could have saved him if I still had my Bloodmage. I could have banished him, but that's that. So now you can see, you can kind of, this might be a good point to touch on here. You see now he's running away after he's killed my heroes, and so this is a pretty good hint at what the strategy he's going for. He's just nuking my heroes and then focusing them, and that's it. You can see the armies are still kind of evenly matched. He's got priests, which are going to help him out a lot. But you can see he doesn't really want to fight me, because he would still take losses. He doesn't have enough mana left on his MK. And he doesn't want to straight up fight. He just wants to bolt my heroes and then, just be, a gay fag about the whole thing. So you can see now that should give you a clue of what you want to do. I want to obviously drain the mana out of the MK, but this also gives some good insight into what hero I should go third. And I'm going to go Firelord third with Soulburn. And what's going to happen is I'm going to Soulburn his MK. It's going to prevent him from casting any spells for I don't know how many seconds, 3 seconds or 5 seconds. It's not a lot, but it helps greatly because I'm going to be able to Soulburn his MK. He's going to run it right into the middle of the battle. I'm going to Soulburn it, so all of a sudden it can't do jack, and its damage is reduced by however many the reduction is, -5 or -7 or something. And so he runs it in the middle of the battle and gets Soulburn, so he can't bolt what he wanted to. He can't bolt surround. So all of a sudden his MK is just in the middle of the battle. Then I focus. Then I acid bomb and focus, and so he's got minus armor. He's taking damage from Soulburn. He's taking damage from acid bomb. And he's taking extra damage from all my focus fire because his armor is minus. And then I siphon mana in the midst of all that. So he's losing mana. He's taking heavy damage, and he's gonna just forget to micro his army and try to run his MK out of the way because it's just it's losing health, it's losing mana, it's like just getting totally raped. So you're gonna see that in action here. So I can find an easy priest kill here. He's way off aside from the army. There's no reason not to come in and kill that. And I want to get out of there and make sure I don't get bolted and surrounded again because it's happened twice already. And he got hero kills out of it. So now I pretty much got his number. I got his game. So now I know what I need to do to counter that. And now I know I'm going to have the tech advantage and the hero advantage. He's stuck with one hero. I'm going to have 3. And we still have pretty evenly matched armies aside from the priests, which I'm trying to even up here. So he bolts